What's up, people lovers? Nearly here with a new format. In 15 minutes, basically me trying to go through some big series and tournaments and trying to recap them in a 15-minute video. Let's jump into VIPER versus DauT, and it is RMS Cup 2 winner bracket round of 16. So 16 players left, very first match here. And we can see that Spiral will be game number 1. VIPER didn't really care which one to go after a long ban phase. As you can see, home maps are Ring of Reeds, very strategic, wild map, Koala, flat map, kind of figured out. And DauT went for a map that is really aggressive, really open. I'm a bit surprised that he went for that. Lots of micro shenanigans going on and something similar to Nomad with a river in the center, not too much water. Civ Draft then resulted into VIPER jumping on Spanish for exactly that Nomad map, Lithuanians as a backup, Mongols for some aggression on his home map, and Britons obviously loves them. Japanese, a really surprising early pick by DauT for me. Gujaras and Saracens ban there against DauT. Didn't want to have any shenanigans, and DauT didn't want to play against the crazy Hindustanis and Chinese that we have right now. We're starting off with Spiral, VIPER in the yellow trunks playing Hans, DauT at the very top playing Japanese. On this map, as you all know, some water generation here, so you really want to fish most of the gold in the center. There's some scattered around, but you're not spawning with too much gold and stone on your town center. Some stuff safe. You also have some extra cows or sheep here, can easily break the fence, and lots of food at the side to grab. Obviously cheaper mills make it easier to play. DauT is himself actually getting a villager kill early on here. Pretty nice for him. 2 villagers there. VIPER tries to go for some quick walls, but not really happening here, as we can see. 14 HP, hill advantage still used. VIPER's trying to fight it back. Quick wall 1, quick wall 2 is in time, but can't really get there because of the shoreline. Nice pickup for DauT. DauT forces the scout to follow and goes for some aggression behind this one. As you can see, man-at-arm opening out of him, went for 4 fishing ships. The VIPER is sitting at 3 right now. VIPER more on the defensive play. Looks like a scout opening to me, but then quickly adjusts and sees, okay, this guy is going for some aggression, and well, we see DauT going with the Archer here, man-at-arms, getting quite some stuff done. VIPER was quick walling himself, tried to wall over this area a bit earlier. Scout very low on HP, can't really punish, found 2 kills already, but that's it, and VIPER can run here. Actually walls behind this one Archer, not enough, and VIPER adjusted, went on to gold, and is now playing an Archer skirm defense. We will see this continuing for quite a bit. Tower aggression here by DauT to follow this up, and VIPER just ready to pull the villagers. As you can see, VIPER both upgrades, DauT lacking the armor there, and Scout still alive from the VIPER. DauT tries to go for it, but simply getting out microed. KD 7-7, so still pretty even there, but easily for the VIPER, or easy job for the VIPER to pull the villagers. Tower had to be cancelled, and we go into relatively stable game. As you can see, economy pretty solid on both sides. Going into Castle Age, DauT with a reasonable timing, but as you can see, VIPER followed this one up shortly afterwards and went for some crossbow aggression. VIPER tried to defend, had some units himself, and we see damage dealt on both sides. But VIPER, he is going for CA after DauT found some kills here against the villagers on the town center. But VIPER, playing Hans, simply will have the mobility advantage and can go over here, can dictate when to go for the aggression, and will find some clear ups a bit more easy than DauT will. Nice denial here for sure, but as you can see, VIPER getting lots of upgrades, +2, +1. We already have bloodlines as well, and VIPER will jump for a clear up here, and will have the deficit in villagers, but at least now got that one secured. 3 towns for him, 3 town centers for the Lord, and the Lord is playing, or at least in a slightly better position. Ballistics not finished at this fight, but still with all those CA, pretty solid stuff here. And now you see that the CA are actually pretty damn good on this map. As you can see, really tough to wall, so CA will find some raids here, will fight off some mangonels at the other spot, and will be really, really annoying. VIPER now getting into a slight villager lead after finding the eco KD there a bit more for himself, and DauT really struggling to catch up. Tries to go for the mangonel defense, maybe stayed on crossbows a bit too long. Maybe some skirmishers, which could have been an option a bit earlier. And then we have the big highlight scene in mid-castle age, the VIPER. He is going for CA, also mixes in some knights, as you can see. Mangonels over here now. DauT has the control in the center. VIPER, heavy villager lead. As you can see, found so many villager kills. Mangonels still around and finds the kill there. Nice micro by DauT. And as you can see, VIPER goes for the defensive, or try to go for the aggressive castle. DauT now with the defensive one. Mangonels not getting sniped. DauT is doing such a good job there. Army is getting forward, and VIPER has to give this idea up. But still, heavy economy lead here, as you can see, plus 30. Simply found so many villager kills, but VIPER loses some control over in the center, still being annoying at so many spots though. And the Cav Archers, just a beautiful unit on this map. And we go into the late game here, game stabilized. VIPER got to him a bit earlier, and just the Hussars plus the CA getting so much control, and Japanese really struggling to find good fights from here on, simply because they didn't have the mobility. Economy better for the VIPER. Hussar CA gets all the raids in, gets back to the control in the center, and DauT has to tap out. VIPER wins game number 1 against DauT's first civilization pick and VIPER's 4th civilization pick. Maybe even 5th. Which brings us to game 2, DauT's home map. And DauT actually went for Dravidian. It's a pretty strong civilization in the early game, getting the 200 extra wood and reduced costs on those man-at-armor upgrades. VIPER plays a really fast civilization himself, plays Mongols. Those trees don't look like much, but remember they have 400 wood for every tree, so you don't need to expand that much. But again, limited gold, you need to fight for gold resources at some special spots, and stone around this area here as well if you want to build more in the future. As we can see, opening's a bit surprising to me. The VIPER, not the big surprise, went for the stable opening, but DauT actually went for double archery range here, something I didn't really expect. Not really using the advantage, except that he gets the second archery range up a bit earlier. Still pretty reasonable uptime here by him. Did not use one of his spores, maybe something he could have optimized from his build order. And VIPER goes for the big walls here and tries to rest with the first early scouts. DauT then decides to move out with his archers, as you can see already as fletching. VIPER still lacking armor for skirmishes. Archers coming around, but skirm defense is present. 3 here. Also went for some aggression on the other side. DauT had to wall pretty tight here, and it got into a pretty messy game while VIPER tries to handle the situation. DauT obviously struggling a bit, can focus on those skirmishes. As I said, armor maybe a bit late there. And VIPER had to pull some villages, still left this one open. I was a bit surprised. Did he not scout this one earlier? He actually knew about that. Well, that's why the skirms were there, and positioning was reasonable. Couldn't wall the rest there, but in the end we'll get a reasonable clear up here against the archers, if I remember correctly. Actually lost track of them for a bit, but later on pulled his army back, and we'll get a reasonable clear up. All good in the hood. DauT with the villager advantage there though, and not too much happening there. Then we are going into 2030 though, and DauT, he continued to produce archers and skirms, double archery range production, but VIPER obviously sits on only 1, and VIPER got into quite some problems here military wise. As you can see, 17 against 8. Lots of army now pushing in, and we are getting into the spot where VIPER can't really handle all the pressure. Has to build a defensive tower. As you know, no stone around there. DauT already sold his stone, apparently. Indeed, used the Francis market. And VIPER's trying to micro this one. Will be pretty tricky though. And as you can see, work efficiency better for the Lord. Fast forward into Castle Age. DauT still idling quite some economy, as you can see, still better for him. Villagers in the tower as well. But VIPER, he rushed out the town center, got the mangonel at the right spot, and DauT is getting into interesting territory. Tries to go for some kills here, but can't really find the kills. Tried to micro against it, didn't really work out for him, and has to retreat. VIPER with a really solid timing here. 4 villager lead for him, or 4 villager deficit. Now DauT about to add some town centers as well. VIPER sits on 2. Jumping forward to the 32-minute mark, VIPER stabilized a bit on 3 town centers. Say goes for DauT, and VIPER goes for a risky castle here, but neither player with a lot of military, as you can see. 14 and 5, and it switched into Elephant Archer, giving up a lot of map control here. Questionable choice here, and as you can see, VIPER will get this castle up. Mangonel helping out as well, and those elephant archers are actually not able to deny this castle, and VIPER gets a crucial spot in the center of the map. Elephant Archers trying to run around, trying to get something done, but meanwhile even the mangonel clear up. VIPER thinks about the relics, has to be happy there. Jumping into Imperial Age, and we're going into the big trap war. Interesting move that VIPER actually focused on killing the traps here, while DauT was just focusing down the castle. We already have masonry, but no architecture, obviously. And as you can see, VIPER still using the hill, but not really switching targets too much. Going fully skirmishes now, only with 2 archery ranges, something that will be very problematic for him later on. Goes for thumpering now, production not really there, while DauT is sitting on better production, gets onto more and more stuff. As you can see, 20 population lead for him now. A converted Elephant Archer trying to help out, not really going to happen. And the castle is about to fall simply because there is enough repair, and DauT is doing a really good job. Not a lot of other army. Castle went down. VIPER still struggling quite heavily. Now adding some archery ranges, goes up to 4. But as you can see, 15 skirms on the field, 18 in the queue. And armies moving forward. DauT is sitting at 33 military, 22 only for the VIPER, and his heavily housed tries to build some of them. But still a tricky situation here for him going into the later part of Imperial Age. Offensive castle for DauT, still lots of control, but now it somehow goes south for DauT, not really knowing what army composition to go for. Lots of resources floating here, lots of food in the bank, had some gold as well, goes for some more crucial upgrades, but still goes for man-at-arms skirms, and VIPER just goes for Hussar and elite skirmishes, and somehow that works out way better for him, and DauT simply struggles to get onto a proper army. Wood Seals is coming in, but against all the Mangodai, CA in the back there, not really the most important thing there, because he's simply not dealing the damage. Skirms at the front, some Hussars, and again it feels like DauT is not really getting onto the proper army composition for the aggressive maps. Some raids happening at the side, DauT with some nice strategic castles, but as you can see, some annoyance here happening for the VIPER, while the fight in the center is not looking good for DauT, and he really struggles to ever get onto proper army composition. Heavy CA, Mangodai, now even Drill is coming in, Hussars to the front. DauT Skirm champion didn't really cut the chase for him, and VIPER actually goes up 2-0 in a spot where it felt like DauT had so much aggression but didn't really have the follow-up in late Castle Age, in early Imperial Age. Somehow took too long for the switch and didn't really go for the great unit that Mongols couldn't answer. GG, 2-0 for the VIPER. Which brings us to game 3. DauT now the back against the wall, but his second home map. And as you can see, it's pretty much looking like Nomad. And, well, VIPER actually only went for 3 fishing ships, although his Lithuanians went for the tiny bit faster uptime, and DauT 4 fishing ships. Now goes on to gold and does something that I didn't really expect of him. He's going to sneak with 2 villagers. While the VIPER actually plays scouts, DauT had the archer range behind VIPER's base, but really struggled to find any damage. Scouts already going around, forcing some spearmen, getting some intel, being annoying, and somehow VIPER is a bit confused, like, DauT, aren't you one of the best players in the world? Where is your army? And his spider senses were right, and he actually sends a scout back, and that scout saw all the forward here, so VIPER knew what was coming his way. One water, meanwhile, scout still pretty active. And now the archers are trying to find something, are going for some aggression. Counter tower by the VIPER, counter archer range by the VIPER as well to deal with all that. And has the way better castle age timing simply because, well, water was not that important, but DauT, 2 idle villagers over here, only now building the very late mill, just for so much reaction as well, and had the pretty smooth Lithuanian opening, as you can see. Very reasonable castle age timing there, 1838, more towers coming, but as you can see, now with the stable, with the skirmishers, easy clear up here, as you can see, and nothing DauT can really do. Just took way too much time. The sneaky archer ranges behind the wood line, maybe not really the scouting that he was hoping for, maybe something we can take a look at a bit later. And now DauT felt okay, not much to do, went for double stable, tried to go for the kind of big all-in early monastery here by the VIPER, finds some relics as well, and a bit later, yeah, we still have the full aggression by DauT. Had to play 1 TC, but VIPER obviously so good at punishing this. Every expansion was spotted. Now goes for some snipes here against the monk. So DauT still pretty active, but obviously with all those pikemen, those light cav being punished as well. Pretty equal trade there, slightly better for DauT probably. And now we have the 3 TC setup against the 1 TC setup. VIPER getting out of control with his raids, getting out of control with his pikeman count as well for the defense. Villager advantage pretty big, just very active with all his knights surrounding DauT completely, who's playing basically a 1 TC all in, tries to get out of here pretty soon as well, and will get cleared up. VIPER will take it 3-0 in quite convincing fashion. Last push here not even really happening. More knights in, more knights harassing here, and DauT didn't even bother. VIPER takes it 3-0 and goes through. Pikeman defense here just so good. And DauT, yeah, that was a questionable aggression here for sure. Let's maybe take a look at this one. What did he scout at this point? Something I really want to know. And yeah, didn't really have the big idea. What did he scout before? Yeah, and that probably cost him. Couldn't really go for any aggression. If you find some alone villagers, maybe that's a good way to play, but this blind scouting felt like he took quite some risk that didn't really pay off. GG. I hope you liked this format.